Mahoning Speedway for the first series of feature events for the 1988 season. And it looks like we're going to be coming out with the small block modified feature first tonight. Remember, this being opening night, all the qualified drivers from the heat races drew for starting positions in the feature event, and here's how they're going to line up. Starting on the pole position, the 1987 small block champion, 81 George Wombold on the pole. Outside of row 1, car number 1, Bob Landis. In row 2, on the inside, the 37 of Grant Andrews. Fourth position, the 45 of Fred Ham. In row 3, on the inside, the 71, Lauren Arthofer of Bath, Pennsylvania. Alongside him will be the pink and white number 4, who burned up the track in his heat race out here tonight, Del Hahn of Slatington. In row 4, the number 66, Roger Heffelfinger Jr. Alongside him will be the car 27, Don Whita. In row 5, the number 3 of Keith Cucker from Palmerton. Outside of row 5, from Kutztown, Pennsylvania, the flying farmer in that radical-looking number 91, Paul Bauscher. In row 6, on the inside, car number 16, Bill Teal. Alongside him will be the 25 of Don Edgar. In the 7th row, car number 61, Jeff Rex, and the 74 of Rick Kirkendall. The next row will be the 41 of Bub Crispin, followed by the consolation event winner, Clarence Rupert, in car number 36. Next we have car number 17, Kevin Rex of Lehighton, followed by Marvin Shiner Jr. of Allentown. And in the last row of automobiles, in 19th spot, the number 6 of Tony Zatsko, and bringing up the rear in 20th position, car number 72, Gary Wentz of Lehighton. There you have the rundown, 20 starters scheduled for your small block feature event, the first feature of 1988. The field is off and moving in their parade laps, or pace laps, getting into their respective starting positions. As soon as flagman Fuzzy McNulty likes what he sees, he'll give him the 1-lap sign, and that means be ready for the green as you come off forward next time around.
Very interesting turn of events with George Wombold, just by the luck of the draw, pick number 1. And again, when that was announced here at the track, again, the fans went wild. I enjoy watching the fans almost as much as I like watching the cars. Very good reaction.
You love them or you hate them, one or the other. And I think there was as many cheers for where he drew the pole, as there were against him. But George is a popular guy no matter where he goes, as are most of these other drivers here every Saturday night. Okay, the starter Fuzzy McNulty showing the 1-lap sign, which means we should be ready for a green flag as they come off turn 4 next time around. Wombold and Landis bring him around, and as they hit turn 3, George will be lighting him up and bringing him for the green flag. And let's see if we can get through turn 1 and 2 without any trouble. No, one more time. Gonna bring him around again.
Taking a look at this luck of the draw, of course, Wombold is in the catbird seat right now, but look at the second row. Freddie Ham on the outside of the second row. He was moving very well.
Right.
Lauren Arthofer in the third row on the inside was moving very well. Put on a show in his heat event. Finished 6th last year in points. Arthofer can make that run. On and Heffelfinger running, starting 6th and 7th.
Okay, we got a green flag, and we are racing into turn 1. Wombold pulls out the lead down the backstretch as they are running on lap number 1. Everybody around safe so far.
That's not really a big surprise. Everybody would expect that, but this is a long race, a feature event. You're looking at Bob Landis in second, and now coming back, the Wombold in the lead as the rest of the field comes through. Okay, there's Wombold up in the lead.
He opened up a nice lead. Bobby Landis still chasing, trying to catch him.
Arthofer takes over 3rd place with Del Hahn in 4th. Everybody chasing George Wombold.
Looking back in the pack of cars, you can't see them on your screen right now, but Paul Bauscher is making his way through the pack, and we got a caution light. We have, I believe, Kevin Rex, I do believe, or is it Jeff Rex? It looks like the 61 on the backstretch.
Yeah. It's the blue car. 61 is Jeff Rex, and there, the shot on the TV is a lot better than we can see here through the mist.
Yeah, I don't know if he got a flat tire or just lost it momentarily and stopped back there, but he came to a stop pretty fast to bring the caution flag out. And I think we have, counting here, we have about 4 laps completed.
At the top of your screen, you can see Rex there making the right turn through the wall. He'll be calling it a night. So they're going to have to line up again in double file, and once again it'll be Wombold and Landis starting side by side with Arthofer starting third.
We're not going to get a go right away because Rex pulled halfway through the gate, and he now needs a wrecker to get the rest of the way into the pit. So
it always happens that way, doesn't it? This evening's race being brought to you in part by the Kawasaki Corporation, by Kovach Incorporated, 363 North 1st Street, Lehighton, by Palmerton Auto Parts, 406 Delaware Avenue, Palmerton, by Slatington Floor Center, C673 Main Street, Slatington, and by Maggie's Kitchen on Route 443 in South Tamaqua.
Okay, we look at our restart, the way the cars are lined up there, this is going to be very interesting. With George on the pole, Bobby Landis outside, and look at that row 2. Lauren Arthofer and Del Hahn in at number 4, and I still think your winner of this race is going to come from that third original starting row, which included Arthofer and Hahn.
Right, we have 5 Chargers up there. It's funny that it would work out the way it did because it was the luck of the draw, but with Wombold, Landis, Ham, Arthofer, 4 out of the first 5 cars, and Grant Andrews has some experience too. But the 5 now are Wombold and Landis, Arthofer and Hahn, and then the next row, Heffelfinger and Ham. So we have 6 people in the first 3 rows who know how to make their cars go around this track.
Right. Bauscher's still back in that 10th spot. That's where he started, but Wombold is going to light him up right now, bringing them all 4. Here we go for the restart on lap number 5. And again, Wombold powers his way into the lead with Bobby Landis dropping in behind him in second, followed by Arthofer, and here comes Del Hahn. He's loose on the outside alongside Arthofer for that 3rd spot.
I think one of the camera people might have been trying to remind us there just before we started that Paul Bauscher is back there because there was that red 91, big as you please, just before the start, and he is picking his way up through the field, started in 10th spot.
He was still intent on that restart. He had passed a couple cars before the caution light went on, but the caution went on and he dropped back in that 10th spot again. That caution, by the way, was thrown for Don Edgar in the 25, who you just saw sitting on the infield there. He is now underway under his own power. He's back on the track. He will pick up the rear of the field.
5 now completed the field.
We have 19 cars left.
Right, Jeff Rex
out there since Jeff Rex took his car back into the pits, and Don Edgar will go from his 12th spot down to 19th on the restart. They'll double him up again, so we'll start this time with the same 6 in the same order as we started last time. As soon as they get themselves straightened out and all the track workers clean up back there. We were watching Wombold.
He's a master.
Right there, and then number 1, Landis, going by with the American flag flying high. There's Del Hahn. Heffelfinger at the back to the right of your screen, and Arthofer with the 71. There's Freddie Ham. The rest of the cars coming by. Looks like we're ready for another start.
Yeah, we get one more lap. The lights are still flashing, and Fuzzy holds up the 1-lap sign.
Okay, this time.
George is signaling to the field behind him also with his one hand up in the air out the window to the field that we're going around again, boys. I don't know. Bauscher lost 1 spot. He's back in 11th now. He was in 10th on that last restart, but okay, here we come. Jeff Rex is trying to get back on the track, but here comes your leader, and the green is out. Jeff Rex will be picking up the tail end of the field. There he goes. He's back on the track.
So we have all 20 cars back on the track, but George Wombold is where he has been for all of this race so far up front. He's followed by Landis, and Landis is followed by Arthofer, running 1, 2, 3.
Freddie Ham, who started in 4th, is going the wrong way. He's dropped back to 6th spot. He got hung up on the outside there. Looks like we have another car slowing over on the 2nd turn. It looks like it might be Wentz.
Yeah, I believe it is Gary Wentz.
But he's high on the track. We don't have a caution yet. We're still under green as he's trying to get around.
He's still moving, but he's up high. He's not going to be able to drop down low either to get off the track if that's what he wants to do, because everybody is strung out. and they're moving along pretty quickly. We watched George Wombold come through. He's coming up to slower traffic now, and he was cut off by Jeff Rex a little bit there. Wombold looking for room to get by, and Landis touches Wombold and goes around. What happened there was Jeff Rex was low and then moved up a little high. Wombold didn't know how exactly to get around them because he wasn't, Rex that is, wasn't keeping a single line. He went from low to high.
Right.
He tried to get around underneath him, and Landis, trying to tuck through, touched and spun around. That's too bad for Bob Landis. He's running a good race, and it wasn't Landis's fault, and it wasn't Wombold's fault.
But whatever happened to Jeff Rex in that earlier caution when he went back into the pits, we did take notice. He came out here. He was something wrong with his suspension because he was something was dragging. He was shooting sparks out from under the car in some of these corners. He is now going back into the pit area once again. But now Bob Landis will have to come from the back of the pack. And while all that was going on, we just talked about Freddie Ham going the wrong way, but he has now since moved back up into that 5th spot in the car number 45. So it'll be Wombold on the pole, Art Hoffer in 2nd, Del Hahn in the pink and white 4 in 3rd, and that'll put Freddie Ham up in the 4th spot with Landis dropping out.
Right, Wombold has led the race all the way so far, and Landis had his shot, and now it's Art Hoffer's turn to see what he can do.
Right, there, another one of the pre-race favorites has just retired to the pit area. Bub Chrisman in his beautiful looking 41 has just made the long haul back up pit road.
And now the track workers, the officials, clear the track, and Fuzzy McNulty gets ready to signal. He's telling them to get back up into double file. And Art Hoffer will start alongside of George Wombold, and he's going to see if he can do what Bob Landis couldn't.
This will be interesting.
And look again in the 2nd row, Hahn and Ham.
Right. Cream always comes to the top.
Look who's outside the 3rd row.
Yep, Paulie Boucher is up there in 6th spot.
One more lap.
Of course, we did have a couple cars retired to the pit area. I'm not sure how many of them are running in front of Boucher at the time, but irregardless, he has 6th place coming. He'll take it no matter how he gets it.
And we can't overlook, and we have so far, and if we didn't mean to slight Bill Teal, he started 11th.
Bill's doing a real good job.
He is in 5th place right now. And Boucher started in 10th, and he's in 6th place.
All right, Art Hoffer tried to get ahead of Wombold, but Wombold laid back and made him slow down. As he slowed down, he stomped on it and caught him coming off turn 4. Here comes Hammy on the outside. Boucher just gave Del Hahn a shot in the back end. There we got the 6 top runners right up front there.
And the rest of the field comes past your TV screen. We go back to George Wombold. Wombold coming through in the lead, followed by Art Hoffer, Hahn, Boucher in 4th, and then Freddie Ham in the red car with the black roof.
The Batmobile is starting to move.
There you see the cars whiz by. Same order this time around. Wombold, Art Hoffer, Hahn, and Boucher, followed by Ham and Bill Teal. That front pack of 6 cars running bumper to bumper.
We see down on pit road, Jeff Rex is trying to get back out, and here comes Bub Chrisman back too, trying to get back in competition, but they're being held up at the pit gate because the field is strung out around the whole track.
There's really no safe place for either one of those cars to pull out right now.
They're going to have to sit and wait for another caution period before they can come back on the track.
It's still Wombold. There he is, followed by Art Hoffer.
Actually, Paul, we have 3 separate races going on here. We got the first 6 cars, then we got another group in the middle, and then we got 4 cars in the back of the pack, all battling in separate positions.
6, and 4, but Wombold is coming up in the back of the field, and you saw it.
Don Edgar trying to get under Shiner coming into turn 3, and there was just no room for him in there. He had no business getting himself down that low, and he came out onto the dirt and caught Barbie Shiner's front tire, and they locked together and went into the wall. Not too hard, but the accident occurred anyway, and this is a break for Jeff Rex and Bub Chrisman as they both have now come back out onto the Speedway.
Right, that might give him a chance. Here's a turn of events. It looks like Lauren Art Hoffer pulling off the track.
Art Hoffer going into the pits.
Oh,
right.
that's too bad. That's a good race between Wombold and Art Hoffer, and whatever the reason is, it's just too bad to see him leave, because that's one of the things that makes stock car racing exciting. You were just watching Keith Cucker.
But remember, Paul, a little bit earlier in a heat race tonight, I forget who was exactly leading the race at the time, but on a restart, Del Hawn was outside. You remember what happened? He shot into the lead like a cannon. He'll be outside of Wombold on the restart this time.
Yeah, there's always somebody to step in to the person who leaves. Somebody steps into his boots. Landis left, and there was Art Hoffer to take over for him. Now Art Hoffer leaves, and he turns over the reins to Freddie Ham.
Dave,
Yes.
we're going to take a break now. Don't say yes. And we're going to go to this clip that you have with George. Just say we talked to George earlier. We're going to go back to that.
Okay, while we have a pause in the action, race fans, we did a short interview with George Wombold and his son Brian a little bit earlier tonight before the show started, so we're now going to show you that short film clip, and you're going to have to listen close because Brian doesn't say too many words on his response to the questions. You know, ladies and gentlemen, the Mahoning Speedway is not going to take a back seat to any other racetrack in the country. You know, NASCAR in their Winston Cup Series has the Waltrip brothers running together. They have Bobby Allison and his son Davey Allison running together. Well, the Mahoning Speedway also has a father and son team going on the track for the first time this year. And I'm talking about the 1987 small block modified champion George Wombold and his son Brian, who is getting his feet wet in the four-cylinder division this year. Gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you both to the Blue Ridge Cable TV 13 microphone this year. And let's start out with the baby of the crowd, so to speak. Brian, this is your first venture into stock car racing, so to speak, on an every week basis. You're starting out the right way in this four-cylinder division, work your way up eventually into the big stuff. How does it feel out there on the track tonight in your number 9?
It's neat.
Neat. Okay. What do prospects look for tonight? What does the competition look like?
Oh, find out. Doesn't seem to be running too bad.
All right. Says going to find out what the competition is like. It's not running too bad, but I just heard him make a statement in the back here that was breaking up a little bit, but I'm sure once Pop gets his fingers on that, that'll get straightened out. George, last year you had 4.5 feature wins, and you're starting off a brand new season. You have the same car back again. We saw you out there in warm-ups earlier. How's it handling on the track so far tonight?
As good as can be.
And knowing George, he brought it out of the barn this afternoon, loaded it on the trailer, and that's it. Put tires on at the track, and he's back for another campaign. How many years is it now, George? 58 or 59 you started?
In the 50s I started, and I didn't put tires on today. They're on from last year yet.
Oh, from last year yet? Oh, okay. There's lots of mileage left in them yet. No, George and I go back a long time when he drove his first hobby car race in his old Studebaker down at the Dorney Park Speedway. But he didn't last too long in there before he was up in the small block division. How many races did you run, George, in hobbies?
How many did I win?
How many did you run?
Not too many, half a year.
I know, it was just a few weeks that he ran. He said, this is too slow for me. We also remember the days they used to run the drag races at the Allentown Fairgrounds in Nazareth, when he used to bring an old piece of angle iron out there with 4 wheels and a motor on and set the fastest time every night on the racetracks. Brian, George, it's a privilege having you with us on the camera and microphone here this evening. And all we can say is that, Brian, good luck to you in your first year of competition. And George, go on out and get another track championship to back up last year's.
We're going to try.
George and Brian Wombold, ladies and gentlemen, the first father and son team on the Speedway here at Mahoning Speedway. Okay, while we were away, fans, the wreck was cleared up in turn 4. Don Edgar didn't get too much damage out of that. He is back on the track. However, Marvin Shiner is out with his front wheels going in opposite directions. Also, Lauren Arthofer has returned to the track. He'll be starting in the rear of the field. So again, it's going to be George Wombold on the pole for the restart, with Del Hawn in the number 4 running second, Paul Bauscher in the 91 in third, Bill Teal doing a great job in that new low-slung number 16 running in the 4th spot. And we have Roger Heffelfinger in the number 66. And then it's Don Weida in the number 27. He's also a steady competitor. And Grant Andrews, 37. Tony Zatsko in the 6. The 17 of Kevin Rex. And we have some cars strung out in the back of the pack as they go past us here. So we're probably going to get a lap or two before. Okay, Fuzzy McNulty gives them the lineup sign now. We're going to go next time around. And I do believe this will be a single file restart. So that's going to take the edge off Del Hahn's challenge to the front. He's going to have to wait for George to make his move. He can't run side by side with him down the front straightaway.
13 cars left to take Fuzzy McNulty's green flag.
Wombold lights it up,
event.
and here they come. The green flag is waving into turn 1.
Look at Boucher. He's the one who really put it on in that start. He put pressure on Hahn. He wasn't able to get around him, but there you see Boucher in the red car coming up on the pink and white car of Del Hahn. Leader still George Wombold. Anytime Wombold starts on the pole, he's going to be hard to beat.
You better believe it.
But these guys all know they can do it. Thiel knows it. Hahn knows it. Boucher knows it.
They've all raced them against him for years and years, and they know what's coming. Mahoning seems to be cutting out in the middle of the backstretch. He's slowing down as Boucher's trying his darndest to get around him. There he goes.
There he goes. Boucher's gonna, no sir.
It caught again for him, but it seemed to just die momentarily there on that last lap.
Hahn picked it up. Boucher, I believe, has the horses to get around. Hahn is all he needs is the room. There's Paul Boucher, or I'm sorry, George Wombold. I keep doing that. Why is it? George Wombold is pulling out his lead. He's extending his lead because Del Hahn is having just enough trouble to hold off Paul Boucher.
Well, if we could get the camera and keep that camera on that gang going into turn 1 now, that's a heck of a battle going on in the back of that pack with 5 cars side by side, wheel to wheel. But Boucher again putting the challenge on up front.
There's the race that Dave was talking about.
Right, white flag is waving.
Goes out.
Last time around, Wombold should have no problem as the slower cars will be well ahead of him before the checkered flag. Here comes Boucher on the outside. He got second place at the finish.
Wombold, Boucher, Hahn, and Thiel. That's the way they finish. Wombold, Boucher, Hahn, and Thiel.
Again, it looked like Del Hahn's car cut out momentarily, coming out of number 4, giving Boucher just enough room to get around the outside for the second place finish at the finish line. So Wombold picks up where he left off last year on his route to another track championship here at Mahoning Speedway as he wraps up the 1988 season's opener here in the 25-lap small block feature event here this evening.
That's feature win number 16 for George Wombold, who's been driving car number 81 since I believe the first car was made.
1958. He started out in the old hobby car division with a 57 Studebaker down at Dorney Park, and he only ran half a season. From there, he went right back into the small block or the old Sportsman division, as we now see the 81, familiar 81, coming up to the starting line, his crew exiting the pits to congratulate their driver.
I don't think that anybody would have been surprised if you would have told them before this race started, guess what, Wombold will finish first and Boucher will finish second. I don't think that anybody would have been surprised. There's George. This guy's going to want you to interview him every week, if that's what happens.